Namaskar, welcome to Lunar Astro. So we'll continue with this series of karma and relationship, and now we'll see when a particular nakshatra gets involved with the seventh house or seventh lord or with the Shukra, what can be the results. So I'll clarify this in starting and how you can see it. You see, a nakshatra can be related to a particular house in many ways. Now, it can be in the cusp of the seventh house. It can be the seventh lord in a particular nakshatra. It can be Shukra in that nakshatra. So when we're talking about a particular nakshatra, when the Dasha will run off with this particular planet, like I gave out the example of Johnny Depp a couple of days back on the Lunar Astro blog. If you haven't subscribed to that blog, you can do it right now. The link is in the description section. Now in his chart, whenever he's running the Dasha of Shukra, like Jupiter, Venus, this is the Dasha when he married the Amber Heard. Right now, he's running again Jupiter, Venus. Again, the court cases are going on. There's a Shukra, which is a significator for the marriages, the relationship, the quality of relationship, is in Kritika Nakshatra. Now, if you remember in the book of Predict using Nakshatra Padas, this one, in the chapter of Kritika, it is clearly mentioned that whenever Kritika Nakshatra gets a link to the seventh house or seventh lord or Shukra, the native partner is aggressive in the bedroom. Now, what happened in the bedroom? His finger got chopped off. Again, that's a significant trait of a Kritika Nakshatra. It's a very sharp edged sword. This particular book has been updated and the new version will come out soon. I think after the Grahan, we are trying to release it. But this is how significant you can go with the nakshatras. So, I will discuss all the 27 nakshatras when it gets linked to the seventh house. I'll start with the Ashwini first. Say Ashwini Nakshatra, whenever it is linked with the seventh house. First of all, the marriage or the choosing partner is not an easy task for this person. The reason being, he's searching for someone who has a very specific criteria for partner. This is what Ashwini Nakshatra is. Ashwini Nakshatra is always on searching for new things, something magical herb, something brand new knowledge. This is what Ashwini Nakshatra does. And that's why the symbol is horse. I mean, see the significant is horse. The animal energy, it's not about the horses, it's the animal energies of horse. And what are horses? Whenever you hear about horses, it is always about running from one point to another point, reaching somewhere early. This is why horses are used. So these people have the capability, to travel far away land only to search the partner. They will go to different places, do a lot of matchmaking, meet a lot of people, and they will say, okay, this is not good, this is not good. I mean, horses are very specific to where they are going to eat. So imagine this particular person has to now select a partner. He will be run around like horses, will meet different people, and then he will decide, okay, whether I should meet and get married to this particular person or not. Secondly, these people are usually late married. When I say late marriage, reason being, it's not that they are not getting the opportunity. It is that they are very picky about whom they are going to marry. But Ashwini Nakshatra has a very prominent, and this is a bright side of this Nakshatra. Whenever they will get married, the spouse is going to bring the calm down effect. Now, what happens with the Ashwini Nakshatra is a very free soul. Ashwini Nakshatra is the time period when the soul has not acquired the body. Soul is searching for a place to be born. So similarly, spouse must be searching. Like when a Shukar is in Ashwini Nakshatra, the spouse must be searching where I should get married. When your seventh lord is in Ashwini Nakshatra, you are searching. So there's a difference between the two. So once you get the body, I mean, soul has a free property. That soul can move anywhere. It can pick. But once you acquire the body, you have to live within the limitations of the body. So this is what happens when these people get married. They start getting limited. Before marriage, all your things, whatever you were doing, your family, your friends, they will accept it. They will say, okay, it's fine. He's still bachelor. The moment you get married, they expect you to be a certain responsibilities related to relationships. So this is what your spouse will expect you to do now. And if you do not perform in certain manner, you will face huge amount of trouble from the spouse itself. Because now all that freedom you had before marriage is gone. Now you're tied to one person. You just can't run around now. That's why one of the other significant features of the Ashwini Nakshatra is the cheating. If this nakshatra is afflicted a little bit, like Shukra in Ashwini Nakshatra, affliction happens. Like look in the chart of Johnny Depp, affliction is there. The partner will cheat. The partner will become extremely obsessive. But at the same time, whenever there is a happy plant setting in this nakshatra, like sun will be very happy in this nakshatra. The person will have a lot of morals. Saturn is extremely debilitated in this nakshatra. I mean, imagine you are asking an old person to run fast. It's not the trait of a Saturn. I mean, the color of the Aries sign is extremely hot red. The only reason is the hot red represents high amount of energy. And Saturn doesn't like, Saturn is a very cold planet, does not like this hot energy. So any planet going in Ashwini Nakshatra, this is the one result you can expect. The second feature of this nakshatra is deception, which is a very unusual trait of Ashwini. But these people are very clever. I mean, these people get clever over a period of time after being deceived several times. I mean, it is not necessary after, within one day or one peck, whatever you will pick up, it will be all right. There are times when you will do mistakes. So Ashwin Nakshatra will go through a deception part in their marriage. Any affliction to this particular nakshatra, expect a huge amount of deception. Ashwini Nakshatra is one of those nakshatra, it says it's a healer's nakshatra. I mean, a healer, when people who are best healers are the ones who are being hurt several times. So they have to be, there's a process the Ashwini Nakshatra has to follow. I mean, you see, there's always a question related to whenever it's seventh sitting Ashwin Nakshatra in seventh house Kaspa. There's a questions related to validity of marriage. That a lot of people say you're not a valid couple. This is an unusual marriage. This is what the Ashwin Nakshatra does in the seventh house. Also, as I've said several times, whenever there's a Ketu Nakshatra involved in the seventh house, nobody else is going to like your partner. But these two are perfect for each other. Only you know why that particular person is perfect for me. What kind of healing that particular person is giving to me. So that is why for Ashwini Nakshatra to go and hunt in pairs, to live with the person who is most comfortable to them. Because Ashwini Nakshatra are the ones who are attracted by the knowledge. Ashwini Nakshatra are the ones, you do not want to give, like Indra said, I will deny that you should not be considered as gods. And they were okay with it. That's why the Jeshta and the Ashwini does never gets along. Anything which becomes a validity, I mean, look at the Prince Hari chart, validity, they will go against it. So all those alternative science healers, medicines, they truly believe in it. They believe in soulmates. They believe that the all this caste, creed, religion can be bypassed. So to control Ashwini Nakshatra is a very difficult task. And if you have a seventh lord in Ashwini Nakshatra, controlling your spouse will be a dream for you. You cannot control your spouse. These people start getting trouble when you start bringing limitation planets. Like you bring Saturn in Ashwini Nakshatra. You bring a Shukra in Ashwini Nakshatra. Now what you're doing is you're bringing limitations to the signification of planet. Any kind of limitations you will bring into this particular nakshatra, the spouse is not going to accept. The second nakshatra in line is Bharani nakshatra. Now Bharani represents the time period when you have actually chosen the house, the place, the family you have to born with, and you're hanging upside down in the mother's womb in a water bag. So this is a very testing time period. This is a time period when you're dependent on someone else. You're extremely in a controlled environment. Now, whenever you're hanging upside down, depending on your food to someone else, it means your spouse is going to be extremely controllable in nature. Whichever planet goes in this particular nakshatra, and when the seventh house goes in, imagine you have to be dependent on spouse. And this is a nakshatra of discipline. So this is required by the spouse. I mean, your spouse will be like, why have not wake up 7 a.m. in the morning? Why you're not doing this? Why you're not on time? Yesterday I was reading a news, and the marriage got cancelled because groom was not on time. See, the Yamraj has a very simple rule: you do mistakes, you will be beaten. This is the same thing you're going to face in your marriage now. Till now, whatever things you will do in relationships, it might be easy for you, but after your marriage, once you're married to a particular person, now all the people you'll get as a partner now, I mean, your girlfriends, your wife, they will train you in a reason. I mean, seventh lord in Bharani Nakshatra, Ashok in Bharani Nakshatra, you need to have one major breakup of your life which will change your life upside down. Because Bharani Nakshatra, once the mother nurtures you, after 9 months, you have to get out of her. Now you're ready for the outer world. So this is one thing the Bharani is going to do for you. That he's going to prepare you and then hand over to someone else. So your girlfriend will prepare you for a better married life. Your first wife will prepare you for the for your second marriage. So when the second marriage happens, you will be a better person about it, because the first one has groomed you, molded you into a better person. So don't be afraid of when the seventh lord goes in Bharani Nakshatra. It is a process you have to go through, because see, the animal here is elephant. An elephant has a very specific feature. Then when he walks, he stops listening to all the other people, all the other small animals. So there's one very specific reason about it. It is not about that elephant cannot fight with these people. The reason is animal cannot waste time. He has to reach from one point to another point and has to walk in herd. The Bharani Nakshatra now, they're never satisfied. You give them anything. I mean, they can eat any amount of food. When I say food, it means whatever signification. Like they can have any amount of relationship and they're still not satisfied in a relationship. Only when they go through the pain and misery, they start realizing and starting that how grateful I am to be in this particular relationship. It is only when they go through the process of transformation, then they start realizing. I mean, you never realize the importance of freedom until and unless you go through that misery. This is what the Bharani Nakshatra is. See, one of the other factors is Venus always requires a blessing of Jupiter. Whenever you have to see judge someone's seventh house now, always judge what is there in the seventh house. It's a happy planet, it's a sad planet, where the Venus is sitting. Start your analyzing someone's married life by looking at Shukra. Shukra is the main significator of marriage. So when you're looking at the Venus, look what is the planet setting in seventh house. And when you're judging karkas, and this is a one very significant mistake all the students do, whenever you're looking at karkas, whenever, do not consider rashis. At least in the starting, do not consider rashis. Do not say my Venus is exalted in fifth house. No, it is in fifth house first. Then it is exalted. It means Venus will give you the results of exaltation in his Dasha of Jupiter. In the Dasha of Jupiter, Venus will behave and exalted. In Dasha of Jupiter, will get the effect of the exalted Venus, because now Venus is supporting Jupiter. But in Dasha of Venus, you have to judge so many other things. Where is the Libra? What is the planet sitting in Libra in Taurus? Venus is sitting in fifth house. Fifth house belongs to Surya, regulation. That is Raj Darbar. So whenever you're judging karkas, look at the Venus first, then look at the seventh house, who's sitting in natural seventh house, and then you say this will be the condition of your marriage. Let's suppose Venus is in 12th house, house wise exalted, but at the same time there's a debilitated planet. Let's suppose Sun in seventh house was debilitated. Now what you can see is, although the Shukra is exalted house wise, there's a debilitated planet, not a happy planet. There's a lot of ego within the marriage which is going on. Take the signification of that planet and say, due to ego issues, you will have troubles with the married life. Now, whenever there's a Venus and Jupiter in 6 8 positions, this is what I was trying to say. That Venus requires blessing of Jupiter. Venus and Jupiter, when they are in extremely bad relationships, like 6-8 relationship between Jupiter and Venus, natives' married life go through shambles whenever the dash of either the two will run. Let us suppose Venus is in third house, Jupiter is in eighth house, sitting in sign of Aquarius. So whenever the Saturn dasha will run, the native will experience extreme troubles in the marriage. Whether it has to do anything with the Shukra or not doesn't matter. But Saturn dasha will be critical for marriage. This is how you judge the dasha. I mean, one simple rule for judging a dasha is, or judging any house, like let's say marriage houses we are talking about. First, once you adjust the Venus, look at what else there in the circuit. Who is sitting in the seventh house? Where is the seventh lord? Whether they are malefics on the both sides of Shukra, whether I will get the happiness from marriage, fourth from Venus, how long will be the marriage, longevity of marriage, eighth from Venus. So let's suppose, let me give you a very practical example. Venus in second house, and there are 4 planets in the ninth house. Now these planets are eighth to Venus, and they are supposed in the sign of Gemini. I'm taking a random chart. Whenever Dasha of Mercury will run, because now when the Mercury Dasha will run, all these 4 planets will energized. It will create extreme troubles for your married life. Now, ninth house has to do nothing with the married life. Shukra has to do nothing with the Shukra is second thing in second house. It is not running the Dasha of seventh house, but it is eighth to Shukra. Any planet in eighth to Shukra will be the longevity of your marriage and relationships. So my first prediction will be whenever I see, I mean, any dasha you are running right now, open your chart. I'm telling you, teaching you a very simple sutra of judging, predicting in dasha. A very simple sutra is whichever dasha you are running, wherever that planet is sitting, look in 6, 8, 12 from that particular planet. This is where you're facing the problems in dasha, antal dasha, pratantal dasha, prana dasha, sukshma dasha. That day, I mean, right now, whatever problem you're facing, look at the prana dasha. That's the smallest problem you're facing right now. Like Rahu dasha, your mouse is not working. This is how you predict for any client who's walking into your office. Like just before this video, I was calls up someone and said whether you are counting money. See, very simple. I'm teaching you a very simple secret of Prashna. You can do it by Dasha as well. And in the Prashna chart, the second lord was in eighth house. And let me see the Prashna. Second lord. Okay, second lord was in 10th house, exalted, Karka Lagna rising. Also, the ascendant lord was in 9th house with Venus and Jupiter. Because Sun was in special position, and also the D3 chart was confirming the same. That is why this prediction was given. So 6, 8, 12 to any dasha when a particular planet will run, that Karak will suffer. Karak, remember, Karak will suffer. You have to pick up the Karaks. Any planet sitting in 6th house or 12th house. Now this is a natural 12th house dasha and natural 6th house dasha for the 7th house. This will also affect the Shukra. So for your profession, if you want to judge, planet in third house, planet in fifth house, or Rashi in third house, Rashi in fifth house, and ninth house. These 3 dashas, whenever they will run, you will experience troubles in your profession. It can be good, it can be bad, because whenever the fifth house dasha will run, either you are going to gain the position or either you are going to fall from the position. You are going to experience troubles in command and authority right at that point of time. So for Ashwini Nakshatra, one particular simple remedy is, you do Shiva Abhishek, Bhagwan Shiva Abhishek by using the honey. In Bharani Nakshatra, whenever you are running the problems related to Bharani Nakshatra, use Itra on Shivling. These are for the 2 nakshatras. Next chapter, we're going to discuss Kritika, and then the next 2 chapters, we're going to discuss Kritika and the Mrikshara Nakshatra, Kritika and Rohini Nakshatra. And I'll see you guys next time soon. Thank you. Bye bye.